Guess what? Don't tell me. You lost your keys again. No. Something else. Guess. You're going to make some food with bouillon cube. No, I don't like those bouillon cubes. Guess again. One more guess. Or two guesses. Okay, two more guesses. You're going to make apple cobbler with caramel. Isn't it called caramel? Caramel. Caramel. It doesn't, I don't know. People say things oddly. Actually, that sounds like a good idea. I should maybe make apple cobbler, but no, I was studying a new saint of the day. It's a she. Can you guess anything about her? The saint day is May 22nd. She's a martyr. Yes. She's a virgin. Well, she wasn't allowed in the convent because she wasn't a virgin. I don't know why it seems like we never hear about virgin boys. Why? Because you can't tell as well. That's disgusting. Disgusting. Everything is disgusting. That's disgusting. Yes, I guess you're right. Okay. Anyway, she was married. She was married at 12, like all the other people back then, because people didn't live to be that old. She married this man. He was a horrible man. Oh, I would not be horrible to you. He was a drunkard. He was an alcoholic. Horribly vicious, I guess. Violence. They had two sons, and eventually his drinking caught up with him, and he was killed. Finally, she gets free. How would she become a martyr then? Did she go out and burn the place down because she was so happy? No, actually, it's sad because her boys, instead of thinking he was a monster at the end, wanted to avenge their father's death. What? Yes. They wanted to avenge his death, so whatever happened, I'm not sure if they went back to the same bar that he was in, that he died in from a stab wound. Did I mention that? But they also died. So then St. Rita, I guess her name wasn't Saint then, but she went to the convent and she wanted to be part of them, but they wouldn't have her because she wasn't a virgin. Yes, how did you know? Because it seems like all that's a Catholic Church cares about. I don't think it's just that. Look at what they do to people and Muslim people, girls that lose theirs. I mean, they stone them to death. So, yes, it seems very unfair. I can understand why people are feminist. Yeah, I can up to a point. Anyway, what was I saying? So she wanted to join this monastery, this convent, but they wouldn't have her because she wasn't a virgin. She hadn't married before. So she went out and she prayed and prayed and prayed, and what happened? She was sent to a brothel because she couldn't join? No. She was put to the fire? No. Actually, you're right. You know what? You asked if she was a martyr. She's not a martyr. She was not a martyr. Well, a white martyr, I guess. What is a white martyr? A white martyr is someone who lives their life from the faith, and they give their life for the faith, for God. And a red martyr is someone who is murdered for their faith. But you're not supposed to seek martyrdom, but then it seems like most of the martyrs somehow do in a way. Anyway, I'm digressing. So, she prayed and prayed and prayed, and St. Rita had a vision of Christ, who, I'm not sure exactly what happened in the vision, but apparently he pricked her with one of the thorns from his crowns. Oh, yes, this is getting interesting. Yes, but just one of the thorns. So she just had this one bloody sore that never healed. It's called a partial stigmata. You know, you've heard of some people having it on their hands, even though Jesus apparently was crucified through the wrist because the hands wouldn't hold it. But I read some article that actually the hands could, because something about the tissue. Never mind. Anyway, yes, go ahead. This is getting interesting. So she had this weeping sore, and people figured that it was from Christ, and they thought she was a mystic. And so, I don't see how if you have some giant bleeding blemish type thing on your head that people think you're a saint. Yes, I just don't understand most of this, but it's kind of interesting anyway. So after 3 times trying to get into the convent, she finally goes back, and because people were heralding her as a mystic, the convent lets her in. Oh yes, is that true? Yes. And after that, she felt so bad for all the people who had suffered, who were like suffering, and bad marriages and the poor, that she devoted her life to helping them. And that is how she became a saint. She endured her life patiently with her horrible husband. Is it really good to live with a horrible person? Is it good to be a saint? Is to suffer your body and your soul and your mental state and be tortured? That's how you become a saint? I don't think that's why, actually. I don't think she could really leave back then, because it's not like nowadays she could get a divorce and move to Florida. Florida, yes. So anyway, well, she's a patron saint of bad marriages. She's usually pictured with a skull, and I know she's a patron saint of some other things, but I guess that's it. When is the feast day? May 22nd. Who is a saint? Saint Rita.